Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trade Ideas live trading room recap for Thursday, February the 27th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Any questions you may have for me, you can use this email address, and this is a link to get into our free room, 100% free. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to be in our free trading room. The room is open Monday to Friday from 9 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm live on the mic, and I'm sharing my screen during that time. In the email you will see a promo code for 15% off either the first month only or the entire year of a Trade Ideas subscription. Wow, what an incredible day again. So let me just show you what I did. I'll show you a couple of trades. I got extremely lucky on this HAHP. Now, all the virus stocks were in play pre-market. The market actually at one point was down, I think, 800 or maybe 900 points. I can't remember. We're now only down 240 points. So you can see actually when the market started to move up, this is when all these virus stocks started to move down. But I got extremely lucky. I think I got into this one at 682. So right here. And it was an early trade. I don't often do it, but this was sort of, I hadn't seen this one before as a quote unquote virus play. It's only 2.2 million in the float. And then it got halted right after that. I actually, before the halt, I sold some at 752. And then I think it got halted. I sold it right here. Then I think it got halted. And it did pop up to 794, and then it came down, and I got out the balance, I think, at 754. But, got very lucky because, look, that candle, it could have happened, right after I bought it. The market could have turned around. There was news coming out of China, though I read it in the pre-market that the Chinese government was opening stores now. There is some report out of Israel that they may have a vaccine that could be ready in three weeks. But this is also emotional. You're seeing all these stocks. Look at VIR. You wanted an emotional stock. Look at VIR. Hits $70, drops all the way down to 38. Now, this was an AI trade from yesterday. But, it's incredibly whippy. You gotta have really a strong will and nerves of steel to be able to trade some of these stocks. So that is that probably the worst one when I look at a stock that goes from 70 all the way down to 38. Anyway, because even if you take 100 shares, you're down $3,000. So it's not like, oh, okay, I'll only take a few shares. Anyway, but here's a trade I took, which turned out to be really an excellent trade. So I'm going to show you my watch list and the interesting thing that happened on my watch list. There's the HSC right there. It's 1094. This is all to be shorted, okay? 1094. So I ended up taking the trade right at 1090 actually on the short, and I took some out at 1061, and then it got all the way down to 944, and then as it started moving up, I took the balance out at 976. And then look what's happened since then. It has rallied. Look what the SPY has done. Maybe, you can sort of see, except for this little downturn here, the SPY is in rally mode right now. Now, why I bring that up is that just before all that started on the SPY, this is the first hour, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the first hour and 15 minutes of the market before we get that green candle. So, there are people saying, geez, I'd like to have a bounce play. I don't want to have a bounce play. And I was saying, look, awfully hard to play bouncers if the market is continuing to go against you. There has to be a real, I'm not saying you can't find any, but you should have the market at least neutralizing somewhat, but you'd love to have this move. So look what happened. So we have that move, and look at virtually every single stock that was a short that came up on my watch list. Look what happened. 1113 got as high as 1156. XEC 3145. It's 3350. I could go on and on and on. Sabre was the only one. You see, Sabre did not participate in that bounce. And actually, I tried to short this one just underneath 15, but I couldn't get the shorts because of the uptick rule, and I didn't want to hang around and keep chasing it down. But virtually, I'm almost guaranteed, like 27.56 hits 30. I mean, all these stocks, MD, I think 16.56, all the way up here, 17.42. So many of the stocks on the watch list that were sort of short, well, not sort of, they were triggering because they were short plays. They just completely turned around with the market. So with my watch list, and any watch list that you may have that triggers, you have to, you should have at least, the market doesn't have to be collapsing for you to go short, but you certainly don't want to be doing this. All right. Conversely, if you're trying to go long things, you don't want the market to be doing this either, like moving down against you, even if you get a trigger long. The only way, that you maybe want to look at a stock going counter to what the market is doing is if a stock has really specific news about it. It's either an earnings play and the results have been great, at least the market's reacting very well, or there is some other specific news such that, really the market, that stock doesn't really care what the market's doing within reason though. Again, the market was down 900. Now I notice the market is starting to, we'll have to see. It's so interesting to see what's going to happen right there. If it takes this out, we could see another downturn. I'm talking intraday. But anyway, it's been an exhausting day. We've just had so much activity. So many stocks bounced, and lots of opportunity to play bounces. If nobody knows that the market, after that is going to continue up. That's the whole thing. It just so happened, though I have to admit, on these two 15-minute candles, I was saying, boy, guys, be careful, because this looks like it could start to turn down again, but it's stopped there, and then now we'll see what happens. If this just kind of consolidates here for a while, just have to wait and see what happens. And of course, this is intraday. If you're watching this video, it doesn't really matter what it does because you're probably watching this after hours. Anyway, do want to get back into the room. A super exciting day, tiring, and unfortunately we had some technical issues. I guess Chrome did an upgrade or update of their browser overnight, and so we had all sorts of issues, people trying to get into the room. Typically, you have to be using Chrome as your browser, and you disable your hardware accelerator. That's been the fix, and for months and months and months, when people do that, there's no problem seeing my screen.
Smed.
The problem is, I think, was when Chrome did their upgrade or update, it switched your hardware accelerator back on, so to sort of overruled the fact that you had disabled it. So, once we told people to have to go back and disable, everything was fine. All right, everybody, I do want to get back into the room and just see what is shaking. It's been an interesting week. It's been an incredible week. As an intraday trader, you love the volatility. You like volatility, but what you don't want, you don't want just up, down, up, down, up, down. You like this move, and then you like a move like this. So the volatility is there, but at least there is trend both directions to give you. Then you can take a trade and try to trade the trend for a while. But if you had a market that was just up down every back and forth every 15-minute candle, it gets very, very difficult to trade or to find any sort of a trend. All right, everybody. If you have any questions for me, this is the email address you can use. This is a link for the free room. I'll open the room tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I hope to see you in the room tomorrow.